Hey friends, so this is the first video I have made in months, and it has been a crazy few months, and I apologize for the very long hiatus and silence. I just wasn't really in a place mentally to make videos. I was just socially and creatively burnt out, and there was just a lot going on. So I guess we can consider this maybe a return of sorts to YouTube, maybe. Anyway, we're here today for a flip through of 2022. And so for the first portion of the year, I used my notebook therapy Suki and then switched over to the Hemlock and Oak, again, A5 bullet journal. So that being said, let's start off with part one. So half of this journal was from 2021. As you can see, all the floral themes are in here for the first half. 2022 started here, which was one of my first times getting into watercolor paint, where I made kind of the beachy theme and learned very quickly how much I didn't like painting directly onto the pages because of the warping. But live and learn. After that, clearly, you can see I switched to using watercolor paper. The goals completely changed by the end of the year, so like none of these are relevant anymore. They were all kind of regarding opening up a bullet journal business, so I had like Etsy goals and YouTube goals, Instagram goals, and then I realized how much the entrepreneur life was not for me, so those have definitely changed since then, and I need to kind of figure out what my 2023 goals will be that are more in line with who I am and what I want in life. As you can see, a lot of these didn't really end up getting used. The When Did I Last I thought would be a good idea. I've seen a lot of people do them in their journals, and it just wasn't really for me. I just don't really end up flipping back to a lot of my earlier pages in my journals, unless it's like the future log. So like that didn't get used. The like wish list didn't really end up getting used much. The media tracker, I tried for months to keep up with this, and I'm forgetful. So this thing was not really useful for me. But looking through it is fun because like I'm looking at the movies that I watched and like some of the music that I discovered, and that's all great and useful. I'm just not gonna use it. The gift idea thing, I honestly keep a lot of these in my phone because a lot of the time if ideas come to me or if I'm in conversation, I don't have my journal with me and I only have a phone, so I keep like a notes section in my phone for that. The 2022s and 2022 I kept up with for I'd say 3 months. And then I dropped this as well. And some of them like were very easy to like I would have filled in within like the first 6 months, and other ones I didn't touch. Like skating practice, never did it due to back injury stuff. Archery practice, the year was too crazy, so I didn't get any time in on that one. Vacation days, who are we kidding? Didn't work out. And then finally, we're on to January's theme. As you know, the majority of 2022 was my female humanoid creature things theme. So, like, every month had a different creature. This month was the mermaid. This was definitely one of my favorite themes to do. I just love the elegance and like beauty of mermaids, and I loved like this kind of Art Deco style that I did. I kind of wish I did more of them now that I'm thinking about it, but I digress. Another watercolor painting that I tested out. I had a hard time with this one, but looking at it now, it doesn't look too bad. I was pretty critical of it when I first made it. More goal stuff that I didn't end up really following through on. I loved how colorful this theme was. You can tell here, like by the time I got to here, I was getting pretty burnt out creatively. So I just went with like a really minimal layout, which is still great. I love minimal layouts. And then I guess I got another little spurt of energy to draw something again. And this was my word of the year, which was abundance. I was kind of like in a mindset, especially where I was trying to build a business. I was kind of getting stuck in that mindset that like there's other people who are doing what I'm doing. They're already way more successful than me. Like the competition's already too big for me to really make a name for myself. And so I was trying to go by the mindset of abundance, in which like just because other people are successful doesn't mean there's room for me to be successful too. And like as far as my business venture went, like I still was successful. Like I made some great sales and made some great friends, and I was doing pretty good. I just realized it wasn't for me. But that has nothing to do with a mindset of lack or abundance. It just turned out it wasn't the thing that made me happy. February's theme was fairies. This was another theme I really liked doing. I love the color pink, so this one was very girly, very fun. I also really loved doing this kind of lettering with the ribbon style. And this Dutch door with the butterfly wing. Or fairy wing? Whatever. March's theme was the succubus. And some of you are probably very well aware of the drama that came from this theme, of people thinking that I was worshipping the devil pretty much for drawing this. But, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the succubus is not a real creature, so, you know, I'm not opening Hell's Gate to draw these things. This was another piece that I was really insecure about when I first made it, but not too bad now that I'm looking back at it. April's theme was the complete opposite. I figured I'd balance it out with having done hell first, and maybe I'd move on to heaven. So I did the angels with my favorite, of course, craft paper. These were like two of my favorite spreads of the entire year, the habit tracker and the meditation tracker. I just like loved the two of them side by side. This one was also fun with, again, the two, like, kind of think of them as like guardian angels on each side. And I love doing these little frames. And then like a little casual Friday angel. So that's the end of this journal. And then a whole bunch of like random notes, and of course paint swatches and marker swatches. And then onto the next journal, which is the Hemlock and Oak. So this one was May, which the theme started off with the fawn. I think there's another name for it too, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I feel like a fawn is for male, and the female has a different name, but it's not coming to me right now. And this was originally going to be a habit tracker or mood track or meditation tracker, and I was going to like fill out every flower for each day of the month. As you can see, none of the flowers are colored in, which likely means that none of these days I meditated. So that went well. Same with the habit tracker, actually. I barely touched it. I think it was around this point that I was starting to get a little burnt out creatively. Yeah, definitely, because like there's barely anything to that month. So then we moved on to June, which was Medusa, or a Gorgon, I guess you could say. No, it would have to be Medusa, because I don't think the other Gorgon sisters didn't have snakes for hair. So there you go. And I apologize to anyone who has snake phobias, because obviously there's a lot of snakes in this theme. I also used a lot of lace, as you can see, for the Dutch doors, which I love doing, although it did fatten this journal up quite a bit. Another habit tracker I didn't touch. I'm noticing a theme here. And a memory tracker I didn't really fill in, but I did move in this month, so that's fun, and got a new job, which is why I moved, and got a brand new car. So big things happened that month, which is kind of why I didn't touch a lot of this. And a portrait that I don't draw a lot of, but I was trying to, get outside of my comfort zone. It's so intimidating to draw portraits because everything's obviously so much bigger, so you can notice details you may or may not like a lot more easily. This was a nightmare to draw, by the way. So many bodies, like how am I supposed to keep track of like what is going where? Won't be doing that again. And then another portrait of more of like a statuesque kind of thing, but yeah. And then July was androids. This one I was like so happy with almost all of this. Like I loved how the body turned out, and then I frigged up the face, which, I mean, it happens. And when you're drawing faces so tiny, it's so hard to get proportions right. Like this, if you add just a blob of ink too close to something, it screws up the whole face, and I did that a few times. I also didn't do any color in this theme because I was just tired out of all the work of coloring things in. And then, as you can see, I also went again with a more minimal kind of layouts for my weekly, because I was, like I said, just kind of burnt out. This was another portrait, and I was like so happy with how this one turned out. I thought like I got the details perfectly, and nothing looked too like color blocky. August was the centaur. And here I started bringing color back in, just kind of like lightly though, as I was just outlining things. I love this girl with her hair like throughout the antlers and stuff. She has a very like spooky, mysterious vibe. This one I clearly didn't finish using. This one, again, barely touched it. Sometimes it be that way. This one didn't get touched at all. And habit tracker, yep. You can see like how much I lost interest throughout this month. Like I started off pretty good, pretty strong, and then by the end of the week or month, it was down to nothing. And then like kind of a goals page, which isn't really related at all to the centaur theme, aside from like little bits of greenery, I guess. But I was not in the mood to draw any more centaurs at that point. And then September was the harpy theme, which I really enjoyed doing this one. This one actually, if those of you who follow me noticed or remember back in September, I made a story about a local bookstore had invited me to do a little like workshop, a little bullet journal workshop, and that was awesome. So I went and just kind of like talked about bullet journaling to other fans, not fans, like not my fans, I mean fans of bullet journaling, and also people who don't know what bullet journaling is and were kind of interested, and that was really cool. So they invited me twice, which was surprising. So on the second time I actually worked on this theme. Sadly, the second time there wasn't like anyone there. It was a really dead day. So it was kind of just me chilling by myself making this theme, which was fine. But it kind of would have been fun also to like make a theme with people, which was the original intention. Habit tracker and meditation tracker. So, by the time, oh yeah, you may notice, I skipped October entirely. I was not feeling anything bullet journal. At this point, I was totally burnt out, totally uninterested, and probably stressed from job stuff. So I just took a break entirely off of bullet journaling, and it was good. And then in November, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start getting back into it, but I went minimal because I was not in the mood to really draw much, at least not with the female humanoid creature things. I was totally done with that, and I couldn't think of anything else to make. So at this point, I was like, I'm just gonna do something that is easy for me, that I enjoy drawing. Like, I still want to draw, I just wasn't in the mood to push myself that hard anymore for thinking of themes. So of course, I always go to my default, which is flowers. So for November, I basically just did different flowers. So I had roses, and then tulips, and then magnolias and peonies. And this works perfectly, honestly. And this is a layout I ended up doing again for the next month of December. And I love it. It's just basic. Like, I've got my to-do list. I have a habit tracker. Ironically, in December, I have not touched the habit tracker again. So I gotta figure out what I'm doing with that. And here we are finally at December of this year. And this time I just went with like different leaves and stuff. And as you can see, I fell back into the habit of not touching it, which ironically would have been really useful this month because a lot of stuff has been going on and I have not added anything into my bullet journal. So of course things pop up on me that I've totally forgotten about, and someone will show up for work or something and say that they, have an appointment, and I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? I don't remember calling you because I didn't put it in the book. But I digress. And that is everything for 2022. We got a little 2023 coming, a little sneak peek. But yeah, that is everything. Like I said, it's been a crazy kind of year. I went from being like a entrepreneur, single person owned business venture to doing a complete 360 and going back to working for a management company. I now am like a manager of a condo building, which is where I also live now, which is great. So that's awesome and I love it. But it's funny how entirely different it is from what I was originally going for. Not that I'm complaining, of course, because I'm really happy here and I'm looking forward to staying here and continuing to get better at my job. And then hopefully this will give me some time to finally relax and like take some more enjoyment out of creating art again, because I definitely felt out of that for a while. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now. I hope you enjoyed this little flip through. Let me know if it gives you any ideas, or if you have any ideas for themes for 2023, because this year I'm not doing the overarching themes anymore. So like 2021 was florals, 2022 was the female creatures. 2023 is not going to be an overall theme. I'm just gonna create whatever comes to mind or whatever seems like a fun idea. So if you have any ideas, drop them down in the comments, because let's be real, I'm gonna run out of ideas pretty soon and I'm gonna need some help. So yeah, that is it. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, and I was originally going to post the setup of 2023/January, but I'm kind of tired out, I guess. I might still post 2023, which will be a nice quick one, but I won't be doing January. That being said, have a wonderful day and talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.